Hello everyone, how are you? I'm Rosa. The theme for this year's season of creation is Jubilee for the Earth. During this season, let us celebrate the goodness and beauty of creation. Thank God for His love and mercy, and pray that we may care for our common home and give our earth rest from our own greed and destruction, so that it can continue to sustain and govern the earth community. The Marist brother who will guide us in our reflection is Brother Yohan, who is presently assigned in Japan. Brother Yohan, a Korean, was assigned in Marist Eco-Spirituality Center in Jecheon for a long time. His deep spirituality expressed in his love of the earth and his understanding of the universe story was trailblazing in the institute, especially before Laudato Si. He reflects on Laudato Si number 84, that challenges us to expand our love and find God's love in all things.
Peace and blessings to you all in this time of pandemic, and for all you do to make a difference. I am going to share part of my reflection on Laudato Si number 84. In this brief reflection, I would like to focus on how are we able not to overlook this fact that each creature has its own purpose, followed by a brief comment on its connection to our Marist Formation Guide number 13. So now, how are we able not to overlook this fact that each creature has its own purpose? Let me get this straight. We probably need to begin this with a conversion, a change of our worldview and our cosmology. For a great part, our human-centered worldview has insisted on human history, neglecting and dismissing the true and authentic values of creatures. Our religion has also led us for a very long time to focus on the relationship between humans and God. In this kind of culture, humans have simply isolated themselves from the whole of creation, forgetting the very essential fact that we are only a part of the whole creation. We are also quite at home, valuing each creature based on our own needs. There has not been much room in this kind of culture for reflecting and pondering upon the purpose of each creature, as well as our interconnectedness and interrelatedness to the whole. I read that Pope Francis, through Laudato Si, calls us to a conversion, a great turning, to open a renewed relationship between God, human beings, and other areas of creation. No longer a human-centered worldview, but a creation-centered and God-centered worldview. Isn't this a fundamental and ultimate conversion of human beings? I am delighted with the words of Pope Francis. The entire material universe speaks of God's love. The material universe created by God is a common ground where God's plan and God's dream are being unfolded and are coming true. God delights with the whole creation, which is a source of God's joy, as written in chapter 1 of Genesis. With this perspective, we are able not to overlook the fact that each creature has its own purpose in God. I would like us to remember that we, Marists of Champagne, have a clear guideline related to what I have just shared. Our Formation Guide number 13 says, as a person, the candidate, like any brother, is a relational being called to perfect his communion with nature. The formation guide also tells us about some values to be developed under the communion with nature. Contemplation and knowledge, respect for the environment, transformation through research and work, a well-balanced and shared use of consumer goods based on a perception of oneself as a steward, son, and brother. How do we live out, fulfill, and express these values? Our formation guide also suggests that one of the paths is through the love of manual work. The characteristics of manual work are often caring, nurturing, sustaining, creating, and several more. It is about a concrete action, no matter how small it is. I think that the joy and mystery of love becoming more abundant by giving rather than receiving is an essential phase of the divine. The manual works we are doing could be a path to experience this mystery of love if we are aware of it and do it with mindfulness. May our small efforts draw us to the mystery of creation, to appreciate the interrelatedness of all beings, and to make our life more whole, more wonderful, and lifeful. Thank you.
Reflection. Each creature speaks of God's love. How do I love and protect each of them? Prayer. All-powerful God, you are present in the whole universe and in the smallest of your creatures. You embrace with your tenderness all that exists. Pour out upon us the power of your love, that we may protect life and beauty. Fill us with peace, that we may live as brothers and sisters, harming no one. Creative Spirit, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Benediction. May God, who established the dance of creation, who marveled at the lilies of the field, who transforms chaos to order, lead us to transform our lives and the Church to reflect God's glory in creation.